So what's happening? Let me give you the quick rundown if you haven't been paying attention. So Steven Crowder apparently was under a contract with The Blaze, a major right-wing propaganda network. No surprise, Steven Crowder is one of the biggest propagandists in right-wing media. So naturally, they either ended his contract or his contract ended and they're not renewing his contract. So Steven Crowder, faced with the reality of being a free agent. So much for being independent media. Not so much, right? He was part of this. I mean, are they not incorporated? I gotta look at the details, but if they are incorporated, that means essentially, I mean, corporate media. Right? And you gotta look at Daily Wire. Daily Wire is a massive company, right? They have crazy money. They're bringing in crazy revenue. How can you be part of the Daily Wire and be considered independent? Anyway, so Steven Crowder with the situation of, looking at no contract. For whatever reason, the way he runs his business, I guess it's preferable to him to be under a contract. I suppose it's based on resources, right? Under a contract, running his channel, and then he has an entire infrastructure to him. For example, under The Blaze, their marketing and promotions and probably setting up interviews and all this kind of stuff. So I suppose that's what he's looking for. He's running a big business and it's a lot of stuff to do. He can either do all this stuff himself, which is a serious undertaking, or he can get under somebody's umbrella and he can focus more on talent. They focus more on the business side of things, promotions, marketing, that kind of stuff. That's right. Don't pull up behind me, Mr. Police. We don't want no problems. So, how does the beef start? Steven Crowder recently posted a video. I think he posted on social media as well. I'm sure he did. Talking about hashtag the big con. He showed a redacted contract that he was supposedly offered by a major conservative media network, and he was calling it out. One of the big complaints that he had is that he says that a lot of these, I don't want to put words in his mouth, some of these conservative media networks are subservient to big tech and their censorship, right? That is essentially what he complains about, and he's trying to call out without mentioning names. He's just showing the redacted contract and some of the details. And basically, what this is stemming from is the contract had some terms where, in short, in a super simplistic way, excuse me if I miss some details, but this is the essence of it. If he posts some trash, and we all know that's what he does, and gets himself demonetized or something like that, there's going to be a reduction in the amount of money he gets paid from this network. So there's going to be an impact to his paycheck from the network that he would have a contract with if he F's around and finds out via some kind of he violates some rule and they go and they suspend him or whatever, right? So he's upset with that. He says that that's basically setting him up to be under the hammer, or what, I don't know the expression I'm looking for, of big tech censorship. And here's conservative media going right along with that. Right. upset, and he's like, this is unacceptable, blah, 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 and he's exposing them without actually exposing them. He doesn't show the names. I wonder why, right? So yesterday, and a lot of his fans are all like speculating, we know who it is, it's Daily Wire, it's gotta be Daily Wire, right? So what happens? Daily Wire posted a video yesterday. One of the co-founders of Daily Wire comes straight out and admits that it's them. Now, why did they do that? I suppose, in my view, they probably got forced because they're a major network, right? Based on the contract terms and the information we knew, I mean, everybody was pretty much saying Daily Wire, right? It wasn't like it was a big secret necessarily. Well, the point is for them to remain silent and then just like don't say anything, and everyone's like thinking it's them, and then eventually it comes out that it was them. Like, it makes them look like shady, right? So I think that's kind of the perspective of like, they're like, listen, let's lean in, let's come right out. This would be a good look as well as far as PR. Oh, look, we're transparent and we're putting it out there. We're not afraid to tell the truth or whatever. So anyway, this video is a 50-minute video. The co-founder of Daily Wire posted over 50-minute video and admitting it's them. It's the contract. He shows the contract. They were offering Steven Crowder $50 million over 4 years. $50 million over 4 years. How can you be anti-establishment when you are in that world where you can get a $50 million contract, right? And you're going to work for some major media network, corporate news, right? Who's making donations to politicians, or I shouldn't say donations, although they probably are. There is a financial sort of connection with the politicians, which has been admitted, right? Sounds, I don't know if you could get more establishment than that. I mean, if you're on the right wing, right? What is more establishment than that? Daily Wire is one of the biggest news networks, conservative news networks, right? Right? They're one of the biggest. They're making crazy money enough that they could afford to pay Steven Crowder $50 million in 4 years. They're making that kind of bank, right? Show me what would be more establishment, more elite than that. Some would say Fox News. I guess. What else you got? What else you got? What else is the big name in conservative? I mean, Steven Crowder himself is one of the biggest names in conservative media. So again, we see the image that they put on, like the character they play on TV is not genuine to who they really are, right? They wanna, and this is not just them, this is like a YouTuber thing. They wanna, like in media, they wanna pretend like they're just regular people sharing their ideas, and then they use the word media as a pejorative, like the media, like you're the media, bro. Right? You guys are the media. Right? This is a game they play. So anyway, in the 50-minute video, he admits it's them. He shows that it's 50 million. He talks about how they came to this situation. He's disappointed in Steven Crowder for putting it out public like that and for throwing them under the bus. I believe his words, not mine. But here's what I got from all of this, the title of this video, right? For a long time I've been observing conservative media. And what I've observed is that they seem to be this monolith. It seems to be all in sync. They seem to be closely totally in sync with the establishment, these Republican politicians. You will see these millionaire, corrupt Republican politicians. They'll be on Steven Crowder's show. They'll be on Daily Wire's show. They won't get any pushback. Just head nod. I mean, it's like Joe Biden on CNN type stuff. Like, these are the same type of thing that conservative media will call out, and yet this is the exact same thing they do, in fact, to a more extreme level. I think I've seen more pushback on liberal media for Democratic politicians than I have in conservative media, even though both of them are extremely partisan to the party that they pander to. They're not really pandering to the party. It's really the base, not the customers, but they are the audience, right? And that's how they generate revenue, by people watching, and then they see the ads, and then they get the ad revenue, right? So if they want to get the eyeballs, they try to pander to the ideology of the market that they're targeting, right? But here's the thing. I will see liberal media going after Democrats, right? Like, they'll go after AOC. They'll go after Bernie, right? I've even seen, on occasion, they've gone after Biden on some things. They've been very friendly with Biden, but I've seen them go after Biden as well. Remember, let's not forget when CNN went in on Pelosi, and she got really upset. She was, how dare you, right? I would never see Ben Shapiro or Steven Crowder bring on a Republican politician and treat them in that way. Can you imagine Ted Cruz on Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro's like, but wait a minute, didn't you say this, that, and now you're saying something different? Why is that? And then seeing Ted Cruz like, now Fox News, ironically, like, that's the thing. That's why you gotta get your bubbles, right? If you're on the liberal side, you think Fox News is just trash. And there's a lot of trash on Fox, but it's really the opinion side. And the news side, you actually have several examples of them doing better than liberal media. Now, we've definitely seen on Fox News, they have gone after Republican politicians. And not just, a Republican politician that's exposing corruption. Like, that's what the so-called independent conservative media will do. They will stay silent about Republican corruption until there is a Republican who's calling out Republican corruption, right? I mean, legitimately doing so, not just like playing a game. So if you are the whistleblower in the Republican Party, that's when right-wing independent media will go after you, right? But here's a couple of things that I picked up on. First of all, the co-founder of Daily Wire, one of the major conservative media networks, referred to Steven Crowder, one of the biggest names in conservative media, as his good friend. I think he said for over 10 years. So these guys are friends. They're all buddy, right? It's beyond even like financial interest. He calls him a friend. Ironically, just like how I tell you, when I say the Democrats and Republicans good friends, I'm not being facetious entirely. That is what they say themselves. I just saw recently Christian Cinema referred to Kevin McCarthy as a good friend. Pelosi refers to these politicians on the Republican Party as good friends, right? We need a strong Republican Party, right? Right-wing media, same thing. These guys are good friends, right? How can we ever trust these folks when they have these kinds of conflicts of interest? I have no friends in the media, independent, corporate, left-wing, right-wing, right? So you can trust that I'm gonna tell you like it is, right? I have no loyalty. I'm the most disloyal person on YouTube. I got no loyalty to any ideology, any side. I will tell it like it is, right? You can't get that from Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder, forget about this deal. Go back in the past. If Daily Wire is on some BS, Is he gonna call them out on it? He's gonna call out his good friend. Now, ironically, someone who really likes to be proud listening right now say, "Well, that's exactly what he's doing right now," and he would be correct. However, outlier, right? Ben Shapiro called out Donald Trump. Now, was he typically honest about Donald Trump? No, that was an outlier. Typically, he would be dishonest about Donald Trump. He would be silent about him, carrying water for him, right? Doing whatever gets the most money in his pockets. So to mention the one time that Ben Shapiro went in on Trump, right? So don't get too excited about, oh, Steven Crowder, look, well, right now he's calling them out. Yeah, where has he been? For all the stuff that Daily Wire has done, right? All the dishonest reporting, all the partisanship, right? But anyway, also, they made it very clear that they are basically propagandists. Now, I know to the tribal thinkers, well, the Democrats, left-wing media. Hey, man, I call them out too. They have also admitted to being propagandists. They don't use those words, right? A lot of people in this country don't seem to know what propaganda means. But we're not talking about left-wing media. We're talking about conservative media. They basically admit to being propagandists. They several times use the word movement. Are you conservative media? Are you doing news? Are you doing political commentary? Or are you a movement? What does that mean, movement? What are you trying to move exactly? I mean, by definition, if you are some kind of movement, right, what you're doing is propaganda. You're not just telling people the facts of what's really going on. You are trying to influence people towards your ideology and away from another ideology, right? You are basically trying to promote conservatism. You're not just a conservative who talks about conservative things. No, you're a movement, right? You are grooming kids, and I've said this before, and I say it again, this is their definition, right? Ben Shapiro tries to water things down like, oh, they're trying to say that grooming is something that, but when we say grooming, this is what we mean. And the description that he gives is exactly what these guys are doing, right? And in this video, he also mentions the grooming project for kids. He talks about how they have invested millions of dollars in kids content. Now remember, this is a movement. This is a movement, right? Not just me, a movement, and you're investing millions of dollars in kids content. What would be the purpose of investing millions of dollars in kids content if not to groom them in accordance with the core mission of these guys, which is the promotion of the conservative ideology? Now, in addition to that, he also references that they have a strong mission to fight the left. Strong mission to fight the left. Now, ironically, as dishonest as CNN is and MSNBC is, I don't believe either of them has a strong mission to fight the right. Their incentives are profit-based, right? They could care less about the right or the left and all this nonsense. They just want those views. They want that money. But here we have one of the biggest conservative media networks admitting that they're committed to fighting the left. So they're basically an activist propaganda organization that is in the business of grooming kids per Ben Shapiro's definition of grooming, right? Go watch Ben Shapiro's video whitewashing this grooming thing and see how he describes it and tell me how I'm wrong. Daily Wire is a child grooming, right-wing, conservative propaganda network per their own words. This is what what they're saying. They just don't want to call it what it is. They are grooming children, and they are committed to attacking the left. We're committed to attacking the left. So if you're committed to attacking the left, that means we can't trust anything you say, because you are on a mission to make conservatism seem good and superior, and make anything left or liberal seem bad. That is your goal, right? So by nature, your content is going to be dishonest, right? Why are you going to be honest about any flaws in conservatism when it is your mission, right? They're on a mission, he says. It's a movement. If you're in a movement to promote conservatism, why would you ever disparage the very thing that you're trying to promote? They represent one of the worst examples that we have in American media. The exact thing that they talk about, and then the excuse. It's funny how there's always like an excuse within goalposts. You listen to somebody who likes these guys, they'll say, well, you know, they're honest about it. They're saying, but the mainstream media, they're supposed to be objective and whatever. Like, that's their job, and they're failing at it, you know. But everybody knows that it's a conservative news. It's known. They're upfront. Okay. So because they supposedly are upfront with what they're doing, that makes it okay to be dishonest and misleading and partisan, and to be grooming kids per Ben Shapiro's language, right? So grooming kids is okay as long as you're honest about it, right? As long as you say, listen, that's what we're doing. We're investing in a movement. Oh, man. That makes it okay. But people don't believe what they want to believe. You know, we are very tribal in this country, and you know, people want to feel a sense of belonging, right? I mean, I am politically homeless. It's not a position that a lot of people want to be in, right? They want to feel a part of something, right? And you're conservative, you're right leaning, and you know, you have these people who supposedly share your ideology, and you want to fit in. The idea that these guys are absolutely trash and dishonest and lying to you and manipulating you and profit focused, doing the exact same thing they're calling out others for, you know, that's an uncomfortable truth, right? You don't want to have to accept that truth and be like, wow, as a conservative, I have no one, right? I've got no one. These guys are trash. These are the only voices I have. So you're just like floating around. You don't want to go on the liberal side, right? So what are you supposed to do? You make excuses like, oh well, they're honest about it, you know. They say that they're conservative. We know they're conservative, right? Right. They may be grooming kids according to Ben Shapiro, but they're grooming in a good way. Anyway, on that note, until next time.